Africa. Nigeria we want. All for the land. Where's Nigeria? The Nigeria we want. With Vicky O Show. Yeah, me show the moon. Wale your light on. I've been see what shuku. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? On Vicky O Show every Saturday. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? Giant of Africa. Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria?
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. It's evening time here, actually. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening on Saturday, the 13th of November, 2021. It's 9:02. Thank you for joining us on the Nigeria We Want, Vicky O Show. Before we go ahead on this show, we have great people or great businesses that are sponsoring us. It's because of them that we are able to bring this show to you. So Provision GSH Plus is the first business that we would like to show our appreciation to. Check them out. How is your energy? Do you struggle with having restful sleep? How is your immune system? Do you struggle with stress, concentration, and mental fatigue? GSH Plus is your answer. It's the answer that you need because the ingredients contained in GSH Plus formula may support your immune system, optimize your strength and energy, and it can empower your daily living. Provision GSH Plus can be ordered through the link we've provided. If you're interested in GSH Plus, just send us an email, vickyoshow@gmail.com. The second business is Capstone Medical Center. Check them out. 51527135. Thank you so much, Capstone Medical Center, Ben Still. We appreciate you and we won't take this for granted. Welcome, my dear brother, Wale Olaito. On mute.
Thanks so much, Dr. Vicky. Folaji, it's good to be back. And how are you feeling? How do you manage to do it? Having spent hours at the TGA early this morning.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I drove from the regional 4 hours after working all day yesterday. I drove down to Melbourne. I got home, I think around 10. And I was exhausted. But there were so many things to still get done before the summit is,
the summit.
and I barely had 3 hours sleep. I had to get
Yes.
up very early, get ready. 7 a.m. we started, and it was
Yeah.
full on. You could still feel it. You could hear it in my voice. My voice
Yeah.
was
I had
almost
a
gone.
very,
Yeah, was
very
exhausted.
late, yeah, I
Yeah,
woke up and I saw the emails and messages and I said,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Anyway, good
So
to be back. We have more to talk later on.
yes, yes. So welcome, my dear brother Edison Wachuku Igbokwenu.
Igbo Kwezonu. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good to be
Yeah,
back again. Now,
always
Wally,
good.
yeah, only a superwoman, superhuman can do what she does. So you don't need
Oh,
to ponder or ask questions how she does it.
okay.
You, you,
I should know better. Okay.
I know. Yeah. I
I
mean,
couldn't have.
I woke up this morning and I saw the thing. I saw you were already online, though I didn't see all of it because I had other things doing. I'm thinking, oh, did she even get any sleep at all? I mean, it takes a superhuman to do what
Uh,
she does. So
I,
it's kudos to you. Well done. Good on you.
thank you, thank you,
Good.
thank you so much. Thank you. And when everyone comes on, we will need to talk about the awards because, yes, I was so shocked, but we'll talk about all that later. So, I'm not going to do too much of talking now because my voice is almost gone on me. But let's just go around and talk about what is trending. I really don't have much this week. Because I was distracted with other things. So I think I'll leave it to you too to
Okay.
share what is trending. So
So we can excuse you for that. It's
thank
been a
you.
very busy week for you. And I'll
Mm,
start with what is trending. I will start with your recently concluded, summit, the Global Achievers, summit.
mm,
It's good to see what you do. It's good to see you, using your network and your connection and your link globally to bring people together across the globe, to share their ideas and to share, a lot of empowerment tips. I was shuttling between doing some things in the morning and listening to the discussions on that program. I listened
mm,
to Dr. Enoch and I listened to a few other ones. Just in between, and it's just good to see the kind of dedication you put to what you do, and also most importantly your ability to see people around you, because it takes, I guess, a position of strength to see strength in others and be able to bring people together, and I think for the first time maybe, since 12 months, I knew you had some health issues, but I wasn't aware the extent of that issue, and just for you to think about looking around and seeing the show must go on. The show must continue, and looking at,
mm.
bringing people together. I guess to continue with the program, even though I didn't know exactly what was going with you medically, but it's just good to see at least um a beautiful mind that thinks that way. That a beautiful mind that thinks around. No, I've got this commitment to things I do. The show must go on, and I will look for people around me that will continue to do it. And I think we've in last 12 months, tremendously, we've all is a place of growth for everyone involved on this program. We've grown together, the camaraderie, our little disagreement here and there, but it's all fun. But I
Was part
think
of that. Yeah.
it's something that I feel passionate just to comment about, and
Mm,
also to thank you, the voters for that, recognition for the little thing I do in terms of the writing in a couple of books and sharing my ideas, and to get your recognition for that. I didn't set out to get any award or any recognition. It's just something I'm just passionate about, and to get recognition is something very special. But I will leave that at that. I say you will come back to that later on the program.
mm.
So welcome to the show, Egbon. So you haven't missed much. Um, so in terms of what is trending for me, I know for me, is the Anambra election. The fact that Professor, Chukwuma Soludo won that election, it's a very refreshing news, on all levels, the way you can think about it. It is refreshing that you've got a well-respected international technocrat and returning home to serve his people and getting rewarded, So it's something very refreshing on that level. It is refreshing that I've got to even see more of him in the last 7 days that I've ever known him. I've seen a lot of videos about him and things that you can't but just love the man. His humility and the way he carries on with his business and everything. I've seen a lot about him. And to an average Igbo person, I would think that it's a victory, in my opinion. It's a victory that they're able to prove a point that they want development in their place. And they can recognize when they see someone that they feel's got the capability and the strength to do it. You can see, Abga won that election by a landslide victory. They won, and even APC, came third in that election. I guess if you don't mind my French, it's a middle finger they gave APC. Pretty much. Abga came first. By strength, and Abga and PDP and APC, the government of the day, came third. So that is a very good news for me. I'll follow it. I've seen comments. And I can see that the man genuinely, he has people across political spectrum that really, they have a lot of respect for him. And that is what I've seen in terms of commentaries about that, from the presidency to the governors in other parties. I think it's a fresh start, and I hope that he will seize the opportunity to bring our people together in the Southeast and be able to provide development. I just think it's something really great to talk about. So that is the major thing trending for me. I will go into other areas later. So Elvis.
Yeah, thank you, Wale. I don't know how it happens. Every time we come on set and we need to share what's trending.
I took that from you. But go ahead, add your own perspective.
But on the flip side, we have also seen that the one who came third in that election, Anduba, has rejected the outcome of the election, claiming voter intimidation. That in some words, election was meant to be conducted electronically, but that they accredited people manually. I wouldn't say it surprises me, because the days of good sportsmanship, I believe, are fast gone in Nigeria, where people lose and they shake hands with the winner and congratulate them. I'm worried. I'm concerned that we may witness a lengthy litigation, because if at the outset he's accusing the Abga party of irregularities, or that they've cheated in the election, I don't know what that's going to portend for Anambra State. I'm also concerned that being the party in power, APC, I just pray and I wish we don't see a repetition of what happened in my own home state, Imo State, where Ihedon had won the election, and then after the litigations, the one who came fourth in that election is now the governor of that state. Not the second person, not the third person. The one who came a distant fourth is currently the governor of Imo State. But otherwise, for me, I think Soludo is the man, and the people have spoken through their votes, and they have spoken with a loud voice. I just wish that the APC candidates will respect the wishes of the people and try again next time. There's always an opportunity for them to retry. So, yeah, that's just on the flip side, Wale, of what you shared.
Thank you very much. And it's interesting that just looking at the the results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, though it's still obvious that there's a kind of apathy on the side of the people, and anyone following politics in Nigeria and on that side of the town can recognize that. Professor Soludo scored 229 votes, in a governorship election. You would think that is low, but we all understand what has been going on now. Valentine Osigbo of the People's Democratic Party scored 58,807 votes. And then the man that wants to take the matter to the courts, Andy Ba of the APC, is called 43,285 votes. And that was the election, the results declared by the Independence National Electoral Commission. So we watch the space, but I would think that if there's anyone in Abuja advising them, if they are political advisors, they will tell APC governments that is a no-go area. Let just the sleeping dog lies. I would think that would be the most logical thing to do, and I would think that is the most the people that have been really, 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 be on the edge recently. And even they said initially that the election will not hold, and they changed their mind at the last minute, and the election went ahead peacefully. I would think that whoever is advising them in Abuja should just not push their luck too much and just let this be. That is what I can think in my own little way of looking at things. Egmont, I can see Egmont ready to talk.
Okay, let me go straight to Anambra.
Okay.
TJ will come later. Let me go straight to Anambra. And you can see that I'm smiling. I've had opportunities over the past 2 days or so on my different programs to congratulate Indigo generally. Thank you for sending a message to us all. Thank you for telling us
it is possible.
It is possible. Thank you for telling us that together we can make a change. Let me first say, calm down. Calm down as in calm down. Because the people have spoken. Yes, we might have had some funny things that happened in some other places. But this is how it happens. This is how it operates here. If it was only Abga that ran for that election, there would still have been a petition from within Abga. Somebody within, if it was just Abga, forget all the other parties, somebody from within Abga would have gone to the tribunal. That is how it operates here. What I see is a face-saving move. Look, you've told your supporters nothing is going to happen, we are winning. So much has been pumped into this, but the people as a body said, no way, this is where we are going. Anambra has waited for a Soludo for a long time. Now they have him. They're not going to let him go. Right? The process of going to tribunal, it will happen. No wala, no shaking. It will not stunt the process of governance. I am hoping and praying, because it's one thing to win an election. It's another thing to deliver.
Exactly.
And just this morning, what was going on in my mind is, please, 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 Soludo must never, and I mean never, take this as a fulfillment of an ambition. I've gone for this for so many times or whatever, and now I have it. Hooray. No! This is the beginning. In actual fact, is in a position to send a message to other parts of this country that things can be done the way they should be done. His pedigree says he is equipped. And so it is not only Anambra that is looking up to Soludo. The country is looking up to him for good governance, for good leadership. There are a few governors around the country that are doing wonderful things, I must say that. In the north, you can count a few. Southwest, we can count a couple. South, Southeast, you can point out some things some governors are doing that is really encouraging. So I am not losing my sleep about any process of tribunal or whatever. I'm not losing my sleep about this. You know, at a point when you beat somebody up, say in a boxing ring, right? And the best he could do is probably just to lift his hand, saying, I'm still here. Please take note, I'm still alive. That is what you have. Apathy, yes, because of all that led to the election. I was not expecting such a massive turnout. But my biggest fear prior to the election was you seal people up and those who should speak will not be able to speak. So I personally was excited when that sit down at home thing was lifted. I said, now people can go out and at least speak.
Yeah.
Thank you, Indigbo, one more time for speaking. 2, I'm not losing my sleep. 3, Soludo should please, for all it takes, show good leadership. That state needs it. Nigeria certainly does. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add, Ebon, you have a valid point there where you mentioned even if the election was held in APGA alone, there will still be dissenting voices. We actually witnessed that happen following the primaries. I know there were court judgments here and there with the other his contending candidates going as far as Sokoto State to obtain court judgments. Yeah, to the extent that he's the legitimate candidate for APGA. They were left Anambra State and went all the way to Sokoto to obtain a judgment, and this was just within parties. So yeah, your point is actually very valid. And in addition to Wale, I know you mentioned voter apathy.
Apathy, yeah.
Yeah, that's correct, and that could be, partly because the people are tired of being given a runaround. And then the second thing is security issues. Because, with the threats of the election, not going to hold and people being warned not to turn up on the day, I'm sure a lot of people would have been scared as well to show up, because anyone who has value for his life will, of course, take those threats seriously, especially in the face of the violence we've seen in recent times in the East, but on top of that, the fact that a lot of people think, look, my vote doesn't really count. Whether I vote or not, they're still going to do what they're going to do. So that could be part of the reason. But hopefully, Soludo can prove to the people that their votes do count by doing the right thing now that he has stepped into that position.
Absolutely. Thank you, Egbon, and thanks, Elvis, for sharing your thoughts. So that I won't be taking another what is trending away from Elvis. So I will allow Elvis to lead this time around to tell us what is trending for him, and then I'll go to Egbon Yemi. We add one, and then I'll go to Dr. Vicky just to share with us, the TGA, what has just happened, and the tremendous, achievement, in the last, few hours of the TGA summit. So, Elvis, so what other thing is trending for you?
Well, look, I'm just going to throw this up for discussion for anyone who also is in the know. I don't have the full details, but I was listening to the news a few days ago, and I came across this particular news where it was said was it a member of the House or someone from one of the ministries? I don't know. Just fill me in if you know 100%. Where this fellow was asking for, is it billions of naira to acquire? Is it to get mosquito nets? For did anyone come across that news? Everyone is smiling. But did you come across that one? I don't know the full details. I just had a glimpse of it, and I didn't pay full attention. But that's really interesting. Someone asking for 12 how many billions of naira to get mosquito nets for wherever. I don't know the full details, but it's in the news.
It was issue of budget approval.
Budget, yeah.
And it had to do with the ministry. I think the Ministry of Health, to be specific. And that was the part there where that amount of money was demanded to purchase mosquito nets. And when that news came out, Nigerians were not too excuse me, they weren't particularly amused because they knew the caliber of mosquitoes they were dealing with. They knew the solution. I mean, the solution to that, and they knew that it wasn't going to cost them anything near that. In actual fact, Nigeria started engaging mosquitoes in dialogue. Wait a minute. If you are going to be this expensive, why don't you would you want to take the money and let us share it while you bite me? Do that kind of a thing. I don't know where they got it from. And it borders on a degree of recklessness. They probably were not expecting the news to leak, but it's such a small world now. It's such a small world. If you must misbehave, at least be a little smart about it. Well, there has been a lot of uproar against that, and it's a bit quiet now. The mosquitoes are watching, Nigerians are watching. The lawmakers, of course, have used that to stroll in a bit into the right path of the reckoning of people by screaming and saying no. I hope it stays as no. That is it.
Okay. Thanks for shedding light on that. Edmond.
At least this is kind of saying that people need to start talking. They need to start kicking against things that these people are doing. If they can be quiet and they can say, "Oh, these people I mean, the way it's going in Nigeria, it's like they are pushing people to the wall. And when you push a goat to the wall, that goat will turn back. And it's getting to that point now in Nigeria. Everybody just saying in one accord, what kind of mosquito is this? And Egmont said it very well. I can just picture, I can just visualize it. So yeah, Sorry, Wale.
No,
permit me, if you don't mind, to sound a note of warning to the three of you. You are living in an environment that is mosquito free. We know our mosquitoes, and our mosquitoes know us. So be warned.
Okay, we take note. We take note on that.
But we have mosquitoes here too, but mosquitoes don't cause malaria, and they don't need billions of dollars for us to keep them at bay.
There's a difference. Your mosquitoes use fork and knife. I won't use it.
Okay, we move on. So, what is trending for you?
Unfortunately, it's that sad one. The issue of the collapsed building will not go away.
Oh.
It's a very sad development. Bodies are still being discovered. As at the last count, I think they've seen about 45 or so. It's a very sad one. And recovery process is still going on. Rescue process is still going on. And one heart goes to the different families that have lost their dear ones in their pursuit of means of livelihood. Is very unfortunate. And there are so many questions out there to be answered. I know a panel has been set up to check this. But when I checked the records of the number of deaths that we've had over the years due to collapsed buildings, I shudder. It sends a very strong message that there is so much wrong with the setup here. And when you also realize that for so many buildings that have collapsed, we can hardly point to one conviction of any culprit or anybody involved. We can hardly, I stand to be corrected, but from records, we are yet to see one conviction. And that says something about us. It says something about us because it's like as soon as the debris is cleared, we just move on. We are watching this one closely. This probably has attracted the biggest uproar. I remember the one that happened at Synagogue Church a couple of years back. Initial arrests were made, and just before you know it, those arrested are walking the streets. And this has happened over and over and over again. There are pointers to deficiencies in terms of material input to this particular construction. But I would not want to preempt that panel. I'm just appealing that the needful should be done. Unfortunately, the name behind this particular one got caught up in that collapse, that destruction there. It is sad. May the souls of those who lost their lives, may the souls of those departed there, may the souls rest in perfect peace. But I know families are grieving. I know communities are grieving. I know people who are the mainstay of certain groups and communities have been yanked off them, and they are facing very, very bleak future. As low as the income of maybe a laborer is, it might just be the main provider within a family setting. And the other angle to this is that there are reports of squabbles already between members of the family of the main man who has gone now and his wife. That's another angle entirely. Now, and it's very sad one too, which also points to something intrinsically wrong with us.
The culture. Yes.
We are a spouse, particularly women, becomes an object of derision, becomes a victim of such, becomes somebody that is dealt with like trash, that is dispossessed of basic rights. That takes us to another level of this issue. And I guess maybe one of these days we will probably need to take a look at widowhood and rights. It pains one. It is a very, very sad thing that anybody could come up and say that once the husband is dead, The wife's contract, that was the word used. The wife's contract with the family is truncated. I feel like, I don't know. I'm trying to use the right word. I feel a bit dehumanized to be part of a community that could say that. Some of this could be traced to part of our tradition that should be jettisoned, our culture that should be jettisoned. I'm an advocate of tradition and culture, but there are some parts of this that must certainly go, be extinct, be expunged from our whole system. That is an entirely another issue on its own. But that's something that's trending for me.
Well, thank you so much. You've just taken all my words out from me without even knowing what I wanted to talk about. I read that and I just felt so much anger within me that I can people do this. That man has just been taken out of, found from that debris a day or two before. The wife came and they were like pack of wolves, wanting everything he left behind and pushing the woman and his children to the side. And I read of another couple in the East. The man died, only 39 years old. The father, oh my goodness, I just couldn't believe this. The man was in the coffin, and the family, including his own father, wanted everything he left behind, including his bank account, everything in his bank account. Even for his funeral, the father, who wouldn't lift a finger to look for money for his medical bills, wanted 550,000 naira for his funeral, listed all the things that were needed. I mean, what kind of culture is supposed to build us? Culture is supposed to make us better people. But when culture is turning us into monster, something needs to be done. And like Egbon said, that was in my mind. It's one of the things that we would need to actually go deep into and talk about, because there are so many women struggling with this right now in Nigeria. So we will need to talk more about this.
Let me, if you don't mind. Okay, Elvis. Sorry, Elvis.
Yeah, in that space, I wouldn't say, some elements of this discussion we're having now can be attributed to culture. Like you just mentioned this lady in the eastern part of Nigeria. I'll tell you what happens. Is not culture per se. Culture, you can attribute it to culture where, for instance, a man passes on, he's left so much wealth, or he's left, even very minimal wealth. What happens is, if he has boys and girls as children, the girls who have been married off will not have any rights to their father's property, and that's where culture comes in. And that's something, like Egmont said, that needs to be rejuvenated, needs to be looked at again, and make it as fair as possible to everyone. However, when you come to the case of a widow, honestly, that's not culture. It's just outright wickedness. People just being mean. Because when that man passes on, naturally, the woman is mourning, she's in tears, she's crying. That's when they take the opportunity to dispossess her of everything. Where is this? Where is that? For a woman who loves her husband, that's the last thing she's thinking about at the moment that man has passed on. So they take this opportunity to take everything off her, but it is not culture. I've seen instances.
Why is it common? It's not just in the East. It's all over the place. It's so common.
It's common, but it's honestly, it's predominant in the East. Look, my mother-in-law, when she lost her father, she's a princess. The properties were divided, and she got shares from her father's properties. But it wouldn't happen in Igbo land. I can tell you right now, it would not happen. You'll be married off. You're with your husband. That's where you belong. But the hard thing there is, you dispossess a woman of. You don't bequeath anything to her when her father passes on, and then if for anything happens and she loses her husband, she also is losing at that end as well. It's just wickedness. It's not culture. People who have actually fought back have retained what rightly belongs to them. Women who have, who stood brave, perhaps when, I've gone to one or two human rights organizations. I've seen a few on Ahmed Issa's show. What was that show? Ahmed Issa, can somebody remind me? The radio guy.
I don't know. Yeah.
No. The popular radio guy who is in Abuja. Is it Ahmed Issa? What's the popular? He's a radio program. Boy, you will know this guy in Abuja.
Mm-hmm. I can't put my fingers on the name now.
If I remember, I'll share with you. She handles a lot of these cases. People take different things to her, women who have been dispossessed. And, because it's well placed in the society, he fights for them and they get their rights. They get their rights the way they ought to. So it's not 100%. Yeah, culture plays a significant role. But where a woman loses her husband, everything that man has worked for or they work for together is her property, hers and her children. No one has any claim. That is natural, and that's the reality. But where we see these cases is just a case of wickedness and taking advantage of the woman's emotions at that particular time to dispossess her of everything that rightly belongs to her.
Thanks, Elvis.
Sorry, Wale, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, well.
It's a bit deeper than this. It's a bit entrenched within our system, and it's very nauseating. We mentioned the world culture of this because that is where people hide. And you are very right by saying it is wickedness. I agree. It is evil. I must add that. And this has been going on forever. The honest to God truth is, how many women, a woman that's probably that has probably never left Ugeli or Warri or a town in Ijebu, she has probably lived all her lives there. How does she get to an Ahmed or what his name now, which I keep trying to remember?
Bracket the family, that one, yeah, I remember.
Berekete. Now I'll tell you this: women need help. There needs to be a lot of enlightenment within our society, including our traditional rulers. Listen, you just Dr. Vicky just cited the example of a man asking for whatever, a man that has just lost his son making such demands. This is all over the place. This happens over and over and over again, especially when the woman does not have children that are old enough and vocal enough and bold enough to face these wicked interlopers. That happens. If then you find a situation where, because the woman has not given back to a male child, that even makes it worse in some societies. It makes it worse in some society. A quick example. Even here, at a point, I felt this can only happen in some faraway places. But it is happening in my neighborhood here, in my own community. A woman just lost her husband. In the morning, the brother-in-law came in about an hour or so later. And after sitting for just less than 5 minutes, the next thing he was asking for was the key to the man's Mercedes Benz. few minutes after coming in to see a grieving woman, the key to the Mercedes Benz was the next thing. This were on air. I would have used the word idiot. Was asking for, and this happens all over the place. I was listening to the audio of a woman who is related. Let's now be specific. A woman that is related to Femi Oshibona, the man that just died in the collapsed building. This particular woman lost her own husband, and this is where religion has joined the fray. She lost her own husband, brought the corpse from America down to Nigeria for interment. By the time they were finishing the interment, the church was asking for money for their pastor from this woman. And I mean, you get agitated when you hear things like this. So a lot still has to be done. We need to be serious about this thing. We seem to, because it has not happened to me or to someone else close and all that, we think, okay, maybe one day. No, these women cannot wait for that one day. As we speak, somebody somewhere has just lost her husband, and the hawks are coming in. What they look at is what is there? What is there for us? What have you done? And it goes on and on. Don't let me take too much time, please.
Thank you very much. Obviously, there's a need for us to go deeper, on this topic, and we try and look for legal experts and some other advocates to come on the show to shed more light on this. My opinion is just that it's silly, it's wicked, and it's all about that, I guess, sense of entitlement. That you can't just fathom what is going on. Maybe it is like this Femi. I don't know his age. Maybe he's still in his late 40s from his looks, or maybe early 50s. He's got kids that are still teenagers that still have to go through secondary school, that they have to go through university, that still have a lot to do in life. And I bet you by the time these kids are in that age, they look around, there's no family there. I lost my dad. That was my first year in the university. I was 18 or just going to 19, and I had to deal with just my mom. I knew family member that would come around so often when my old man was alive. They all disappeared, So that's my story, and it's everywhere. It's really sad because people are just preoccupied with what they can get at that point in time. They don't care about those kids and what becomes.
But you know what, Wale, it all started even well before the man passed. If we look at it really, it all starts from when the man marries the woman, that most of them start seeing that woman as their enemy because she's coming in and she's taking over, and they're supposed to be benefiting from that man right now. But now, he won't have time for them because now he's married, he'll start having children. You see the way they relate with their children. You see the way they won't really take those children as part of their family, really. So when the man passes, it's easy. They have no connection. The woman has always been an enemy. And this is so common in almost all cultures in Nigeria, that by the time the man passes, there is that they're not there. They're not mourning the man because to them he had already been lost by even marrying. He wasn't supposed to be married at all. There is a lady on Facebook called Ada. I cannot pronounce her surname. Ada, she's the one that has gone so popular because she wouldn't stop saying the truth that most people has been running away from. She will look at cases like this case of this man that passed, and the kind of what do you need to do to protect yourself as a woman? Don't do it just because that's the way it had always been done. As a man, you don't want anything to happen to your wife and your children, just in case. because there's no guarantee. Anyway, we all owe debt, and there will be a day it will come knocking. And when it comes knocking, are we really prepared? Are we assured that our loved ones will be taken care of? It starts with when you need to have your next of kin. Who do you have on your list? When you buy properties, do you write Mr. and Mrs. blah blah? Or do you write Mr. John Adebisi and Mrs. Yebisi Adebisi? Because anybody can come and say, we are Mr. and Mrs. and claim whatever belongs to you. But our people, as this girl, and whenever this girl writes whatever she writes, she's a psychiatrist. And she goes and she just goes in there and make it so loud. She doesn't write, she writes some epistles, but when she writes, she just makes these things so loud that it's only the deep that can call onto the deep. Most ladies are the ones that will come there and start writing rubbish because they just can't get it into their brain that this is for their own protection. Because of what they've been so used to, because of what they watched their mom do. So they really don't understand. They're not ready to be educated. What my point here is we all need to be responsible for ourselves and our partners and our wives and our husbands. We need to sit down and look at ourselves and make sure we are protecting ourselves now that we are well and we are alive. We are alert. So that when that time comes, there won't be anybody coming on to knock on the door and take what you've worked so hard for and leaving your children to go and suffer. The man that I was talking about from the East, he bought a car, a vehicle for his children. That vehicle is for transportation of his children to and from the school. He wanted to look after his children. But as soon as he passed, his own father came and took his 2 cars. The day that they packed the 2 cars, one of the kids walking from school got knocked off by a car. Just imagine if that man is looking down from above. If I were him, I would just strike everybody straight. I would just strike them dead. Because how can you do that? He worked hard to provide for his family, and look at what happened. Which means even before it passed, they would have been showing their true color to the man and to his wife. It's only that sometimes we don't want to face the truth and just make sure we protect our loved ones. So to people out there, it is time for you to make sure you are protecting your family. Because those kids, they didn't ask for you to bring them to this world. You decided to do the deed, and here they are. Protect them so that people that are not really invested in your happiness will not come and mess things up when you're gone. Because one day will be one day when we all go. But when it goes, make sure that your loved ones, your children, your wives, and everyone that cares about you, they are there.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
think we need to move on that topic. I'm afraid time is fast spent. We look at possibility of bringing a lawyer and an advocate for women in this case, to have an extensive discussion. So moving on, what is trending? Another topic that is trending is about Senate, approving Buhari's $16 billion and €1 billion loan request. So, they've approved that request, and potentially they're looking at World Bank, African Development Bank, and French Development Agency as donors. Government representatives have argued that, that would stimulate the economy and create jobs. So my question around that is, how do we get out of this, traps, of just digging ourselves all in that hole of, debts? How do we come out of this? So if you could just talk about that, are we not just putting the generation yet unborn in a situation whereby they are born, and by the time they are born, by the time they are about 18, they're already having maybe about $1 million debts, attached to their neck, and just trying to survive. So what do we think about the debts, and especially with this government?
Well, the point is, you cannot be borrowing money to pay staff. You cannot be borrowing money to do infrastructure. You cannot be borrowing money to do. They are not looking at how can we generate income. They are not looking at what can be bringing money in for us so that we can continue to sustain. They are not looking at themselves cutting the high salary that they are collecting, that they are not working for. They are not looking at that. But they are borrowing money because there's no money now. No, they don't have enough money to pay their fat salary. Something needs to be done. They are not looking at things critically. Why won't the Senate say yes to the borrowing? They will say yes because that's where they get their own funding from. Now, I know, and my husband says this a lot, that when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. You find yourself in a hole, you need to stop digging. Because if you keep digging, you find yourself going down and down and down. Nigerian leaders are in a hole. They are putting us all in a hole and they keep digging. They need to stop, because when you stop, you can reassess the situation. You can look at things critically and you can work out a way to get out of the hole, not to keep digging.
Thank you. Elvis, your take on the debts and, growing, escalating debts, especially since this government came on board. Credit to President Obasanjo. He was able to use his influence amongst the Paris Club and all the international, the so-called Brentwood Institutes to really do something in terms of reducing the debt profile of the country. At least everyone can remember that. So what is your take on this?
Yeah, well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think that those debts during President Obasanjo's regime were actually forgiven altogether. We started on a clean slate. So it's shocking where we are now with our debt profile. Again, this brings to fore the conversations we've always. I can't recall any night we've had this discussion that we haven't mentioned the words sincerity of purpose. How sincere are these guys? What are their intentions? Look, take it a notch further. These loans we accept from the Bretton Woods institutions, the rates at which we get these loans are nothing compared to what the West, the sort of rates they get offered when they also approach these institutions for loans. It actually,
so their risk profile.
Well, the risk profile shouldn't really be the issue. Wale, you don't do a single digit there and you do a double digit somewhere else and you say, oh, your risk profile is that they actually what I believe, and as a student of international relations, I did in the course of my study, I also learned that when these loans are obtained, of course, you give a proposal, you identify those areas you want to invest these funds. They know those areas will not be beneficial to your economy. It's not going to bring growth to your economy. It's not going to put clothes on people's back or food on their table. They want you to keep digging, so you keep going into that hole. Do you know what it does for them? It places them at a vantage position where our economic future is continually tied to their apron strings. We're continually reliant on them. We can't do anything. Well, think about what will happen with all the natural resources God has deposited in the soil in Africa, that you also had the ability or the technology to turn these natural resources into finished products. Do you think you will have any use for the West? Of course, they identify it. They know. And that's why they keep giving you that money. They know that you're not going to put it to any good use. The same West who have all these anti-money laundering laws where, for example, you're coming into Australia or you're going outside of Australia, you can't have more than $10,000 on you without declaring it. You'll be in trouble. Tell me, how is it that these same guys ferry across billions of dollars and they get accepted by these same Western countries, Europe, America, everywhere? So it's a game. It's a game to keep us at that level, at that rudimentary level where we're actually the producers of raw materials. They take it from us, turn it to finished products. The little stipends they pay us, they take it back when they bring the finished products to us. I was watching an interview, a meeting actually that the president of Ghana attended in Switzerland. And this was about the cocoa, the cocoa they've got in Ghana. When they come, they take their cocoa, turn it to chocolate, and then sell it back to them. He said to them, look, those days are over. That's sincerity of purpose. If you need my cocoa, come and establish the factories in my country. Bring your factories to Ghana and create employment in Ghana. It will be a mutually beneficial relationship at that stage. You're making money. We're also benefiting from the things you've set up in our place. So,
Elvis, sorry, quickly, but he can say that because there is electricity. I know of some doctors, gynecologists that are Ghanaians that packed their bags from Australia and moved back home. I see where they live in Ghana. It doesn't even compare to where they were living here in Australia.
What does that tell you?
That's
sincerity of purpose on the part of the government.
But the government they've already done what they're supposed to do by making
sure. You are both on the same page. Dr. Vicky
I'm agreeing with
Yeah.
Because the government in Ghana has created an enabling environment where these businesses can thrive. You're even talking. I know of a GP here in Victoria, one of the doctors who work in his service, one of his GP services here, has actually built an ultra-modern medical facility and in Ghana. This guy is a Ghanaian and he's going to retire. He's going back to Ghana soon. So the government needs to do their bits. You provide that enabling environment, which Ghana has done, by the way. They may put on a fertile ground for people to bring in their investments and it can thrive. So they can brag and say, look, if you don't bring it here, you're not getting our cocoa. Now they're negotiating from a position of strength. This is what I have. If you need it, come down to me. So these are guys who actually want to do good by their people. But is that the case with our politicians? How do you borrow to pay salary? It's not sustainable. It's not done anywhere. By the time you expend those funds, are you going to borrow again to keep paying salary? So we're going to keep.
And so the government's credit this time around, the money, the loans, they are not meant for salaries.
How do you know that?
I'm just quoting what they said. So that we won't be quoting. We won't be quoting them out of context. So this is not about borrowing salary. They never said that. Again,
I don't think they've ever said it anywhere since they want to borrow to pay salary. So what are they borrowing for?
They link this to infrastructural development.
All right, that's
infrastructural development, and that's why they said it's going to create more jobs for the people and it's going to stimulate the economy.
Every single time we borrow those monies, the whole idea will be for infrastructural development. How much of that infrastructure from the time we've been borrowing do we see currently? There's no will to do the right thing. There's no sincerity. It's just chop and chop, and it's going to keep happening until One day we get someone, or people who are really in the business of rulership to serve the people, maybe things can begin to turn around. So it's unfortunate. We're still going cap in hands, borrowing. Our leaders can't see, where this is all trending. Take a Gaddafi, for instance. Why do you think Gaddafi, there are different arguments, was taken out? Gaddafi was going to have a formidable African Union that will give the West a run for their money. Gaddafi was going to come up with the gold dinar, which would have been the central trading currency within Africa,
to the detriment
of the dollar.
Gaddafi overstayed.
Right. Excuses to get him out of the way. Where is Libya today? Yeah. Where is Libya? From where they were before to now. I'm sure if you go now, ask the Libyan, would you have preferred when Gaddafi was there or now? I'm sure any right-thinking human being will tell you, oh, that time was better. So it's always about them. They give you the loans. They know you're going to steal that money and bring it back to them, and to again help their own economies, not yours. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Elvis. Egbon Yemi, and after that, I will go to Dr. Vicky to give us just a summary of the TGA summit.
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Yeah. So, do you have comments regarding this same borrow politics, or something else that you really want to comment on? If you want to comment on that topic of the $16 billion, 1 billion euro, please go for it. But if you have other comments, please, feel free to share, because after this, I will go to Dr. Vicky to give us the TGA summary, and then I'll come back to have our final words.
Listening to this, what is running on my head repeatedly is because I need somebody to show me a perennial debtor with zero investment ability or even intention who has made it in life. I'll say that again. Show me a perennial debtor that has zero intention or ability in terms of investment who has made it in life. That's the situation we are putting ourselves. Unfortunately, the 16 you are talking about will not be the last we will borrow. We will still borrow more. And we have not been put into holes alone. We have been given diggers and dredgers to go deeper into it. I'm of the opinion that we probably have some professionals somewhere whose job it is to scout for where loans are available, and whose job it is to prepare papers and color it in a way that it will be attractive to the lenders. Dr. Vicky and Elvis have said it all. When we turn a new leaf, I don't know. It's not looking like it is something in sight, because one administration is probably in a race to outborrow the previous one. So it's a competition. We're in an Olympic Games trying to win gold medals in the race of borrowing. We had a drama series at the University of Ife then. A drama skit that we called Boro Boro. We didn't know that years later this will be, coming back to us. Anyway, in order not to overstretch the issue, I don't know whether some people, I don't know, I don't have the statistics, how much goes back to those who lobby for these loans. And when that is subtracted from the main money, how much of the main, whatever is borrowed us, how much of it goes into the desired areas. And I don't know, I don't have statistics, I don't have information on if people are encouraged to fall into the eyes and not the nays when this issue is debated on the floor of the House. I'm sure I've not said anything on that, but I don't know whether people are encouraged to say eyes, and so that the eyes can have it and the nays can go home and brood. That is that. But it won't be the last one we'll borrow. It won't. I'm sure as we speak, some papers are still being prepared. And we are talking about the federal government thing alone. States are borrowing. States are borrowing. And at these rates, I don't see an end in sight. Maybe I'll wait for Dr. Vicky to talk about TGA before I react to it. So that is that about borrowing for now, just to save time.
Thank you very much. And talking about time, actually, time is fast spent. It's 1 hour 12 minutes already. So, Dr. Vicky, just give a summary of your successful TGA summit.
TGA Summit. TGA is all about the global achievers. The global achievers. I started the Global Achievers a few years back now, going to 7 years actually. And with the Global Achievers, we have the magazine, we have the networking club, because there's no way you can be successful doing life alone. You get quicker to your destination when you are doing life with people of like mind and you are networking with them. And like I always say, that my net worth is my network. It's not about the bank balance. It's more about the people that I have around me that I can tap into. They make me richer. They make me richer, not just in the financial part of things, but in every sense of the way. Just imagine if I don't have you wonderful gentlemen in my life doing this with me, what would have happened to this dream of the Nigeria we want? It would have been dead just after it started. And I mean, what we do, which is therapeutic for each and every one of us, is a great benefit. On top of it, there are other people. There are many people, hundreds of people that will say to me, "Oh, I watched your show that you guys were talking about. Oh, you guys were," I mean, these are people that have never commented. I really don't know where they check us out, but people are watching. People are watching, people are listening, and it's going places. I believe so. So my net worth is my network is the reason behind the networking club of people of like mind. And it's not for people who already have businesses. It's not just for entrepreneurs. It's for people who want to go places in life. And there are times you lose motivation. There are times you're not inspired to take steps. But being with group of people who are driven, who have things to do, who have places to go, you are able to tap into their strength and energy to get to where you want to get to. And that's the idea behind the Global Achievers Club. So it's grown much bigger, and it's growing more. COVID stopped the growth because we had conferences and summits planned for 6 different cities last year, and then COVID started. We had to cancel that. At that stage, we had over 120 speakers that paid to speak on the Global Achievers stage, not just in Australia. We're talking about in Nigeria, in UK, in Dubai, in Canada, in two cities in United States. And they'd already paid and everything. We've booked all the hotel conference rooms. We had to cancel and then go and work out what else can we do so that this just doesn't die. And we came up with doing stuff on virtually. So our first summit was last year, November last year, just over a year ago, that we had our first summit. And now we had our second summit this year. And it's I'm sure Egbon was there. I saw Egbon all through. Highly successful. And what we did was, all right, all the members of the Global Achievers, this is your opportunity to shine. Leave your comfort zone and be seen, be heard. Stop hiding. And most of them said, yes, I would like to share. Some of them, that was their first time of actually sharing. And everybody came on stage and shared from the heart. So it was wonderful seeing their growth and seeing how they were. And yes, I will say that was a very successful summit, and everybody keeping to time and doing what they're supposed to do. It was wonderful. To top it up, months ago, I was contacted by a gentleman affiliated with a university overseas about the comment was, we've been watching you and we love what you do, and we would like to work with you, and anyone from your organization that you've screened, we would like to give or award a doctorate degree for, which is honorary. So screening everyone and all that, we came up with someone who really deserved to be it. And Dr. Enoch Ogi was awarded honorary doctorate degree. And then TGA Awards that we quickly put together within 2 weeks, and we rolled it out just less than a week ago because we thought if we leave it for too long, people may just get busy doing other things. So we want it to be done ASAP. So we received over 700 votes. Wale was nominated, Egboyemi was nominated, and I'm so proud to say Wale got the author of the year. He was there with other seasoned authors like Carlotta Taylor, who is in the second place. Misty Lane also with 2 books, best-selling 2 books. Carlotta, best-selling 2 books. These are the ladies that actually got to meet in United States 2 years ago. They, Wale got the first, is the author of the year, TGA author of the year with 68 votes. Egbonyemi, you deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congrats,
yeah. So,
thank you.
Honestly, I was just so shocked, and because the system that we use for the voting, no one can tamper with, and that system collates everything. We just had a look, and that was it. So we came up with this. Egbonyemi also came number 1. Miss Elaine has her own show. Nancy Isime had her own show. Lauren Michael Harris has his own show. But Egbonyemi came number 1 with 62 votes. Yes, it's so wonderful with all the winners, and hopefully we will be doing stuff with all the winners for this 2021-2022, just to get TGA out there more. So I'm grateful that people nominated you, and here you are, you won. For the Nigeria We Won panelists, Thank you for making me proud. I feel like a mommy, whose kids are winning all the awards. I was how I felt like, oh. So, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, back to you, Wale.
I think, Egbo, you want to say something? Just your
Yes, I will.
response to that, yeah.
Yes, I will. I want to say that the last thing I was expecting was an award. I just wanted to be part of that great show. I just wanted to be supportive of course, whatever Dr. Vicky was out there doing. And I wanted to learn. And I must tell you, my session there yesterday was awesome. I learned so much within those hours that I'll probably have had to do a master's degree course for. I learned so much. I can't forget Robert. Robert is still in my head.
Oh, yeah.
It's still in my head. And every word he uttered were so deep, were from within him.
Exactly.
And they were not scripted words. These were words of a man who said he was down, as in down.
In the dump.
Even in a depressive mood. But he came out of there and uttered those words, and they lifted me. And he himself was up there from the depth of, from the level he was up to where he took himself, and of course, he took us along. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed every bit of all the speakers. They said very practical things that you could relate with.
Exactly.
And these are very uplifting. I want to thank TGA. I don't know how this came about, but I must also say that well, I've been bragging all over the place right now with it. Yes, I earned that bragging rights.
Yes, well earned.
I was on national television this morning, and it was a celebration of face. It was not planned to be, but it turned out to be. And I want to thank TGA for that. On social media, wow, I've been inundated with congratulatory messages and all that. But it's good to be encouraged. And please, Doc, remember I said yes yesterday to the subscription thing. Yeah. So count me in.
Yes, we'll send you details. Yeah, Dr. Enoch will be in contact with you.
Okay, I said yes upon that. And then Wale, congratulations.
Congrats, yes.
Well,
thank you.
I can't wait to read Reflections. I just must read it.
Yeah, okay. I will definitely, as I made a post in in celebrating that with my fans. I made a promise to send 5 copies, Australian wide, autograph copy, to interested people. I'm sure my friend Elvis has, indicated for me to send a copy. I will do that. I will autograph and post it, and I will look for, okay, Dr. Vicky, no worries, and I will definitely. I will have to consider postage and other options to get it autographed and sent to Nigeria. So I would definitely.
You know what, Wale?
Yeah.
Diola Deribibe, she's doing postage to Nigeria.
Okay.
So, Egbon, we will be getting your award and probably maybe the book. So let's put it all together.
Okay.
And the awards for those in Nigeria will be sent to you. Then they can make arrangements as per how to get it.
Okay.
I think that would be easiest.
Okay, problem solved. So what I would do is that, okay, maybe Egbon will be my contact person, so I can sign about 5 autograph copy. Egbon can grab his own, and any other winner can liaise with Egbon and collect theirs. So thanks so much. For the very first time in a long time, I'm short of words. I don't really know, what really to say, but all just to say from the, just deep down, I'm very, grateful and honored about the whole thing, and it's sort of inspiration just to continue to write more, and to, it means that whatever I say resonate with some people. Sometimes you don't know whether I'm pissing people off or I'm just saying the good thing, but at least it's good to be recognized. And I hope that, I will continue to do that once again. So thank you. And thanks, congratulations to Egbon on your maiden edition of that NTA program. So I came across that online, I think late, maybe on Thursday or Wednesday, that, program with the NTA, Channel 2, NTA 2, Channel 5 on top of my head. Congratulations and, all the very best with that show. Moving on now, I go to Elvis for his last words, and then we try to round up the show. It's just nearly to 1.5 hours now. Elvis, your final word for tonight.
All right, can I start by saying congratulations to both of you on those awards. You rightly earned this morning. Not for you, it was yesterday, but it was this morning for us. Yeah, it just goes to show, every good deed, every good effort deserves to be rewarded.
Exactly.
And you've done well. You've earned it. I'm happy for you guys. And it just tells you, whatever you do, whatever steps you're taking, Big Brother is watching. Big Brother is watching. So yeah, kudos to you guys. Hopefully, there many more good awards, many more recognitions to come in future. That's my wish for you. But overall, yeah, I just say congratulations. It's well deserved. The
Thank you very much.
thing, I'd like to add to that would be, well, not to that in that space, but as my final words, the people of Anambra have spoken, and the governor-elect, Professor Charles Soludo. People have so much faith in you. They have a lot of confidence in you that you can deliver the goods. I personally think you've got the pedigree, you've got the qualifications, you've got the experience to do the right thing by your people. Please, no fall our hand. I'll end it on that note.
Thanks so much.
Wale, just 30 seconds for me, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
Let me do a special congratulations to the double doctor in-house. Yes, congratulations, double doctor.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Vicky. Congratulations for earning that additional award. Thank you. I'd be great. It is well deserved. Thank you so much. I also want to say that Nigeria we want, just as doctor, you use the word that is very dear, that is very key to me. The Nigeria we want is a weekly therapy for me as a person. It is a weekly therapy for me. It helps me to keep my sanity in this sphere. And I hope it is the same to a lot of people. And I also hope and pray that we'll make an impact in nation building as far as this country is concerned with this program, and that this concept will go places. We are just starting as far as I'm concerned, and I know it will go places. It will go places. Sponsors will look our way, and will be a force to reckon with. I want to thank you guys for always being there. And I also want to say that your words, Elvis, Wale, and Doc, it rings in my head. And I truly know that Big Brother is watching, just as Elvis said. And that is one thing that cautions me a lot in my interactions and all that. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
I said something earlier on today. I said, there were people that applied to be TGA ambassadors, and we received so many applications all around the world. Say, I would like to be. Okay, some of the questions we asked, they answered. Some appeared really wonderful with their answers. But one of the things that we did was to check their social media. and most of them failed woefully. So I said to people, be careful what you put out there. It can come back to bite you. Yeah, it's just TGA, but how about something bigger? How about if this is a bigger opportunity? That's how most of them would have lost. So I just wanted to put that into it based on what everyone said.
Let me also say that you have just broached on a likely topic for us in the near future: the usage of the social media.
Okay.
I saw something, was it yesterday? And it's becoming a trend, but I'll keep it until the day we decide to discuss this thing. It is a topic worth discussing. The way some people go about it is it's cause for concern. It's cause for concern. Seriously.
Yeah, okay. Looking at the time is first spent. I was hoping to be a shorter version, but we've had more interesting things to discuss. It's always like that. Like sometimes you think it's going to be very quick and short. We spend more time. Sometimes you think it's going to be longer with it. So, but it has been another, interesting and educative and informative session. Thanks to, as always, to our dear sister, Tulu Felicity. Thanks for being there and thanks for promoting the show. Blessing Colade. Thanks so much. And I'll hand over to Dr. Vicky to close the show. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching us today, and thanks to the panelists. Egbon, I know you're all dressed. Probably there's a party going on somewhere.
There is. I've actually parked somewhere on the road to be part of this program for the past 1.5 hours. From there, I'm going for a wedding.
Okay. So we won't keep you for too long. We're about to round up. Thank you for making it. And Mr. Elvis, my dear brother, thank you so much for being here. Wale Olaiton, I appreciate you as always. And to all our viewers, Damilola, Tolu Felicity. And we have some new people that are watching us today. They actually commented. Olawoyin Benga, J. Richard, and so many more. We appreciate you all. Thank you. We don't take your presence here for granted. But until next time,
just before you say bye-bye, sorry, Doc. Just before you say bye-bye, can I seize the opportunity to say a very big thank you to my wife?
Of course.
Reason is simple. She's the one I run to almost every other time, a lastminute.com savior. When I need data for this show, I call her, I say that I am running out, I don't have data and I must do this show. She looks for the credit for me and I get on the show. I need to thank her. That of course has reflected even on the award I got, because most times, now, when credit finish, we call her. And she finds a way of
for that reason and so many other reasons.
And so many other reasons, which I would like to keep private.
I know, because we don't want Ebon to sleep in the garage when he comes back from this.
Thank you.
So cover all grounds.
Thank you.
Because you don't want that to start saying, "Am I only good for credit?" Oh my goodness! I just love this show. I love these guys, and I appreciate you all. Thank you. Until next Saturday when we come back again. It's now party season for us, so our Australian people. How are we gonna do it? 9 p.m.
I said we need to have. I've been thinking about it. We actually will need to sit down and have a conversation, because
this 9 p.m. is too early.
Yeah, too early. Maybe. Well, we'll talk about it and see what suits everyone. Yeah.
Probably we need to still make that Amala joint date and just sit down. We need 2-3 hours to go through certain things. And probably we'll call Egbon and do virtual with Egbon. While he's watching us eat Amala. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that.
You know, a friend. One of the congratulatory messages I got when a friend saw that this came all the way from Australia. He said he hopes it's not a first step towards me running away into that land. I said, well, now that you're talking about Amala, it's worth considering. Have a good day, guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. See you next
Let me run before jollof rice finishes.
Okay, well, enjoy.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
It's LC the beat guy.